What's up, y'all? This is Side back with another reaction, y'all, from the Fat Man's Podcast. I got another reaction for y'all. But before we get in this reaction, y'all, please hit that like button and subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 800 subscribers by the end of this month. So please do share with your family, friends, whoever you see. And let's get in this reaction, y'all. Uh, um, I got a reaction from the Turning Point UK. And the reaction name is Race Bader attempts to outsmart Charlie Kirk fails. So let's get in here. You'll see what this Ray Bader is talking about, and we'll see what Charlie Kirk is talking about. We'll see how he did it to him. I'm sorry if I look over. I'm watching the game too. I'm gonna pay attention, but I got my Vikes playing right now. They're 7-17. Bills are winning right now by 10 points. All right, y'all, let's get up in here.
This country, kind of want to ask your opinion on white privilege, because
Sure.
I think I saw something on Facebook. Someone shared like a video or a picture, and I kind of want to just get your views on it, if you could, please.
Awesome. White privilege is racist. White privilege is a lie, and it is a myth.
Could you elaborate?
Happy to. White privilege is racist. Let's go through it. As soon as you begin to categorize certain individuals based on skin color, that in of an essence is racism. It is. If you say, "Oh, you're privileged because of your skin color," are you kidding me? I mean, you don't know about my background or my upbringing. All of a sudden, you're generalizing an entire group of people just based on their skin color. That is racism. The definition of racism is putting a specific definition onto a group of people based on their skin color, a prejudice just based on their skin color. That is racism, whether it's a good prejudice or a bad prejudice. That is racism. Is it a lie? Absolutely, it's a lie. Now, have Caucasian Americans generally done better over the last, 100 years? Yeah, that's correct. But there's also other communities that have done much better. Asian Americans, for example. I never hear about Asian American privilege. Asian Americans are the wealthiest, most productive, least likely to commit crimes members of the American community. Where's their privilege? Is their privilege based in skin color? Absolutely not. There's privilege based in making good choices. When you make good choices, those choices are rewarded. Asian Americans entered mostly in the 1940s and 50s, fleeing communism and Marxism. By doing so, they came into the American community widely discriminated against. In fact, if you ask your grandparents what they think of people from Asia, they won't say very nice things, especially your great-grandparents if they're still alive. They made very good choices. They did the three things you need to do to stay out of poverty in America, according to Ben Shapiro, which is you got to graduate high school, get a job, and get married before you have kids. And over the last 60, 70 years, they are by far the richest group that you can point to based on race in America, by far. So here's the perplexing thing, is that I said it's racist and it's a lie. What else did I say about it? I said something else. It's very divisive, extraordinarily divisive. Because if you're going to start to categorize people just based on their skin color, then they're nothing more than that racial group. They're not an individual. It's not saying that you could rise above your circumstance. It's not saying you can make good choices. It's not saying that, you might have been born behind and you can get ahead. We want to talk about white privilege. Here's a good question. And anyone who here believes in it, please step up to the microphone. We can have a discussion. It's a little, I don't think it'll offend anyone, but it might bring someone back. Here's a really good question to ask. Are Jewish people privileged? Are Jewish people white? Anyone? Are Jewish people considered white? Technically they are.
If you consider their history, I would say not.
Oh, they're not white. Then what are they?
They're Semites
They're
from the Middle East, at least historically speaking.
Okay, so we don't have that as a box to check on the U.S. Census Bureau.
I think there should be.
Okay, so they should be Semites. Okay.
Well, not Semites, but
Well, I mean that is the technical definition. But for lack of a better term, they are considered white.
I'm white and I'm Jewish, and I don't think that I'm considered anything but.
Yeah. So let's go to this.
I don't think it's a monolith, though. I mean, I think you can if you identify as white and a Jew, like that's fine. But
It doesn't
I know
matter
like
if you
there are
identify
a lot
as,
of
it's what
people
you
who have a lot of connections to, especially like Israel.
Yeah. So but here's the point. Is the question is, if you categorize them as white, which you don't, most do, Did they really have that good of a 20th century? Were they really privileged over the last 100 years? Really?
No.
Yeah, they had an extermination order put up against them in an entire continent. Here's the point, is that if we are going to try to segregate the American populace based on skin color, that is the very definition of everything that we have tried to fight against in this country.
All right, yeah. Well, before we get back up into it, I stopped at the 4-minute mark. Yeah, he's right. I mean, me personally, I don't believe in it. I think it's a lie. I think it just brings down people that believe, don't want to do anything. I think people take it to extremes and an excuse for black people, Mexican people, any race, to be honest. And I think the people that do keep on saying that, they're just trying to get money out of people, to be honest, y'all. So me personally, I don't believe in it, and I probably will never believe in it. I think I'm pretty good on my stance on that. Yeah, I'm pretty good on my stance on that part. You know what I mean? I just don't believe in it. And, some people get mad at me about it, but I just don't believe in it. It's not my fault that you don't, it's not my fault that you believe in it. I mean, if you can believe in it, whoever the hell you want to believe in. And, you know what I mean? I think, and he's right, you know what I mean? With Ben Shapiro, where he get the quote from. Graduate out of high school, get a job, and get married before you have kids. I totally agree with that. I don't think he said anything wrong, to be honest. I don't see anything wrong with it. And Jews went through some stuff, and you know what's going on now. You can't even say that. You can't even say Jew now anymore, or you'll get canceled. Which I don't really care. I'm gonna say if I really want to. I'm not saying anything bad about them or nothing like that. But, you know what I mean? Ye, he said something. Kyrie, he said something. Stuff like that. So it's like, you know what I mean? And then this guy right here trying to say, I don't even know what word he just said. I never heard that word he said. Semite or something like that. Okay. He technically they've been white. You know what I mean? But I don't put all white people in a category. You know what I mean? You have different religions, different races, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't put all black people in one group. But I could say all black people ghetto. When people say that, not all black people are ghetto. Some white people are just white trailer trash. Not all white people are white trailer trash. Not all white people are dumb. Not all black people are dumb. Not all race. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right, let's get up in here, y'all.
Everything. And despite even historical and statistical trends, it just isn't true. There's twice as many white people living in poverty in America than black people. Do they live at a higher rate? Absolutely they do. You talk in aggregate numbers, it doesn't reflect to that. So look, here's the point, is that it is anti-individual, and it is very much this idea of racial group collective that I think is extraordinarily harmful and creates this victimhood mentality that pits one group up against the other, that does not reward what America truly is, which is a place where good choices will eventually be rewarded. Go ahead and say something in response if you want to.
Yeah, just I guess one follow-up question. So you don't think that specifically regarding the United States, like the crippling, like systematic oppression of like the 60s and before that has like any kind of effect whatsoever on African American communities?
Great question. Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Say it again. So say it again, because I want to.
Do you think that the systematic oppressive laws of the 60s and prior to that have any kind of effect whatsoever on African American communities today?
Sure they did, but didn't the internment camps against Asian Americans in the 40s have something against them? They rose above it, right? So here's the question. Is America more racist today than we were in the 1960s? It's a legitimate question. Can anyone possibly say we're more racist today? No. Then why are blacks worse off today than they were in the 1960s? It's not because we're a more racist country. We're much less racist in every single metric. It's because we've incentivized bad behavior over the last 60 years. Black single motherhood was 18% in 1965. It's now 71%. What happened? Is it because we got to be a more terribly racist country? No. Did we get more racist laws? No, we actually got rid of most of all of them. Civil Rights Act, we got rid of almost every single one. So what happened? It's because we incentivized really, really bad behavior. We said to single mothers, go ahead, have kids, and we'll give you a check every single month. But don't get married. As soon as you get married, you lose the check. We put African Americans in urban areas and housing projects that, again, incentivize bad behavior. And that was the advancement of the American welfare scheme. Also coupled with failing public schools, run mostly by teacher unions that were not properly incentivized to try to get the people out of poverty that were very much in. By every single metric, African Americans are worse off today than they were in the 1960s, with crime, prison rates, single motherhood, employment, wealth capita, everything. And there's only one possible explanation for that. It's not that America got more institutionally racist, not any of that stuff. It's that there was a set of policies put forth by one president and continually supported by entire political party to keep a whole segment of the population poor and routinely voting Democrat. And that's Lyndon Baines Johnson and the American Democrat Party, which I think completely punished it. So if you want to talk about systemic oppression and racism, there's lots of other examples of ethnic groups that went through that too. If that's the card you want to play, it does not couple. Almost every single one except African Americans and Native Americans have not rose above it statistically. And the only thing they have in common is absolute total government interference and involvement in their life. Follow-up question?
Oh yeah, that's the end of the video. On that part, I can agree with that. You know what I mean? It does in the black community or black people. The single mother rate, stuff like that is not good. You know what I mean? I was raised with a single mother too, but it's not good. I mean, personally, I had my father in my life though, and there's some that don't even have their father in their life. But it's still not good. It's still not good. They got these mothers out here that they'll have more kids to get more checks, and that's crazy to me. I think that's a bad thing. I think being lazy, getting welfare checks, getting unemployment, stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. I can't agree with it. It's rewarding bad behavior, and that's not good. That really does mess up the community, and I can only, I can't disagree with that because it definitely does. It definitely does help, bring down, the community, blacks and stuff like that. So, which me personally, I'd rather not go on. I'd rather work for myself. I'd rather, I'm just not cool with it. I'm not cool with it. I wouldn't want my, if I had kids, we didn't work out, I definitely wouldn't want her to be on that kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. So me personally, I think you should get married first before you have kids. And which it doesn't really work like that sometimes, but you definitely should get married to that woman that you're having kids by. I think it's the best possibility. You have your father and your mother in the house, but then here people go to extremes. Oh, this kid, well, my mother and dad didn't have that, then they weren't getting along and stuff. That doesn't really matter. That really doesn't matter. As long as you have your father and mother in life, they were teaching you stuff like that. What do you have to complain about? You need to get out. You need to get out going folks' business, and that's what I truly believe. Now, if your father was hitting your mother, or your mother was hitting you, or they was having arguments every damn day, I mean, I don't know, but y'all tell me what y'all think up in the comments. That's in the video. Y'all please hit that like button and subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 800 subscribers by the end of this month, y'all. And I'll see you guys on next one. Peace out, y'all.